The following program on KROC is sponsored and paid for by Meshbesher and Spence.
Andrew Davick joins us this morning from Meshbesher and Spence. Good to see you, Andrew.
Good morning.
We're going to talk about, let's see, officially, who has to be paid back out of settlements?
Yeah.
All right, so explain.
So, in the typical injury case, there's going to be medical bills.
So like a workman's comp type of a deal.
So, like you two are going to a function, and Tracy blows through a stop sign. You're injured.
Wait, the last time it was Rich blew through the stop sign.
I know, but
dang it. Fine.
We have to mix it up.
Right.
Got to share responsibility once in a while.
It's because he was distracting me. That's why.
He was probably texting, on Twitter, trying to show you his Twitter feed.
Yeah, check this out.
So what happens then? So you're in an accident. If it's a car accident like that, work comp, if you're in the course and scope of your employment, work comp is going to pay. So if there's another third party who's at fault, maybe the other driver bears some responsibility as well, and you pursue a claim, the bills that work comp paid on your behalf, they have a right of subrogation or reimbursement out of any settlement. So work comp pays the bills, and then they're going to want to get reimbursed from anything that you receive. And it's really important for individuals who are injured in accidents to understand that, whether it be work comp, whether it be your health insurance. There's many different types of health insurance. There's private health insurance that you go out and you purchase on the marketplace. There are ERISA plans that you get from your employer that are self-funded through your employer. You probably have that here. There's Medicare, there's medical assistance, those types of things. And every type of health insurance has a slightly different right of reimbursement. But it's really important to understand that because it can ultimately take a big portion of any resolution or settlement if you recover medical bills in your case.
The one thing that I've heard from most of the workman's comp cases is that workman's comp insurance tends to fight these things to the end a lot of times until it's to the point where, you wonder, why in the world did they do this? Because it's now costing them more, you would think.
Yeah, and in some cases where work comp has the claim and there is a third party where there's going to be a recovery, common sense tells you that work comp maybe shouldn't spend all the money fighting the claim and maybe consider actually
because it takes years.
paying. It does. It takes years. They hire a lawyer. They pay a lawyer. Ultimately, oftentimes they end up paying out on the case. And what they should be doing is paying out on the front end, asserting their right of subrogation and seeking it from the negligent third party, if there is one. Now, of course, if you fall down the stairs here and hurt yourself, there's probably not a third party who's at fault. So work comp is going to simply bear that responsibility to themselves. But, they should do that, subrogate, get their money back.
But they don't.
Hey, that was good. We said the same thing. I've spent too much time here, apparently. I don't know.
You guys are so cute.
We're on this same wavelength.
So also, not just workman's comp, other claims.
Yeah, you're in a car accident case and your health insurance, no fault picks up the first $20,000 in medical, but if you got a catastrophic injury, your health insurance is going to start paying on those bills. They then have a right of subrogation. If it's a private policy you purchased, they don't have a right to get their money back until you've been fully compensated. But let's say it's an employer-provided plan that's through the federal or not through the federal government, but based on federal statute under ERISA, they have a first dollar right of recovery, so they actually have a right to get their money back before the injured individual is going to get theirs. So, by the way, if there are any legislators out there, Mr. Walls, if you are out there listening to KROC this morning,
I'm sure he does.
That's something that needs to be changed at the federal level. We need to make adjustments so it's more fair to the consumers and not such a uneven burden to the insurance companies or uneven burden that the consumers are holding.
When decisions are made to fight a claim for whatever reason, is that decision made by an attorney or by, for an example with workman's comp on my mind, by the workman's compensation insurance?
Typically, so the first layer is going to be that adjuster. So it's going to be not a lawyer. Most often it's not a lawyer. Is going to look at the claim and make a determination based upon their review of the records, the information contained within the file, whether or not they're going to pay on the case.
Do they hope that it'll drop?
Yeah, I think in many circumstances they do, and unfortunately a lot of people do give up. They're not.
Absolutely.
They don't want the battle. They don't want the fight. They don't want to have to hire people like myself to, fight it for a few years, trying to get the benefits paid. But
if I came to you and asked you to to help me out on this, it's not going to cost me anything because you get part of the settlement, right? I mean, that's what. If you opt to take the case,
right? I mean, everything we do as a law firm, with the exception of Zach's criminal, you can't charge a contingency fee on a criminal case. You can't say, well, if you get convicted, you pay me. If I get you off, you don't pay me. I mean, that just doesn't work. It's unethical. It's not allowed.
We should give it a try.
It'd be interesting. Zach would probably lose his license, but the in the PI setting, we do everything on a contingency fee basis. So it's based upon a recovery. If an individual doesn't recover, there's no charge to that person for.
If you think you don't have much of a chance of winning, you're not going to take the case. You're going to inform the client and say, well, look, here's the deal, and unfortunately.
Yeah, based on what I see whenever we do these.
Yeah, I took a call this morning. A very nice woman had sustained a fall, and unfortunately, based upon the facts that she presented to me over the phone, I didn't believe there was a case that she would be able to pursue. And I was just very honest with her and said, it's not something we're going to be able to help you with. I think you've got an uphill battle here. I always encourage them to talk to other lawyers because you just never know. Somebody may have a different opinion. They may look at it a little bit differently, and I'd rather have if somebody can help them, find that individual versus simply accept my, viewpoint or determination that there isn't a case.
So I guess the bottom line is patience.
Patience. Absolutely.
Don't sit there and hold your breath until that check comes in of remuneration, whether you're getting anything extra, but just at least to get the hospital bills paid.
Doesn't make a difference, though, if a lawyer is working with an individual when they decide. I would have to think that if they say, they don't have any representation, we'll just keep dragging this out because we'll just sweat them out. But if a lawyer gets involved, they go, all right, fine, the lawyer will stick with it and we'll settle.
You'd be surprised they don't.
Yeah.
They still drag it out.
And they still can drag it out, but there is greater risk to the other side if there's a lawyer involved for the plaintiff, for the injured person, because in those circumstances it's a lot easier for us to bring the case in the court system than somebody to try to represent themselves pro se. I don't know what the old phrase is you see on TV, a fool for a lawyer. What is it? Client? Something about if you're your own lawyer, you're a fool.
You have a fool for a client.
Yeah, you have a fool for a client. And so, and that is true. I mean, if I were injured in an accident, quite frankly, I would probably have a lawyer assist me, even though it's what I do. I think you need that perspective.
All right, somebody needs to get a hold of you for whatever reason, if they've got a workman's comp or anything else, and they need an attorney. How do they get a hold of you at Meshbesher and Spence?
Give us a call at 507-280-8090 or www.meshbesher.com.
Next week, haunted house.
We'll talk
law.
about and liability associated with haunted house.
Sounds scary.